Since working for the YCW, John has worked in the community welfare sector, in youth development, youth justice, child, youth and family services. This work has included direct service delivery roles and in senior program management. John currently works as manager of the Communities for Children project with Anglicare St Luke's in Bendigo. Please welcome John Bonds.
Thanks for the intro, and thanks for the opportunity to talk to you today about Hugh O'Sullivan, and thanks to the Caroline community for inviting the O'Sullivan Centre to reflect on the life of Hugh O'Sullivan, and I'm pleased to present it on behalf of the Centre. I want to reflect about Hugh and particularly take his work and look at the learnings from his work and how they are applicable today in the delivery of community welfare services. It's 20 years since Hugh died, and I would consider him one of the great YCW people. He was chaplain to many YCW groups and parishes of Adelaide in the 1960s and 70s. He was also diocesan Adelaide chaplain, Australian YCW national chaplain in the 70s and 80s. It was during his time as national chaplain that I got to know Hugh really well and work alongside him. In the latter years of his life, he worked as chaplain to the International YCW in Asia and was based in Hong Kong, and travelled throughout Asia talking to young workers and developing the YCW in countries like India, Sri Lanka, Hong Kong, Thailand and the Philippines. Hugh was a very unique person, and he possessed incredible human and personal qualities. He was the most naturally gifted person in the way he could relate to and engage young people. His belief in the uniqueness of each individual, of every human being, his commitment to social justice, and his influence in the YCW in his time as chaplain can never be underestimated. He was a very special person to many of us who worked alongside him. Were inspired by his belief in the dignity of the young worker and his commitment to social justice. And I'd say many of us wouldn't be the people we are today if it wasn't for Hugh and his influence on us and his absolute belief in our abilities and our potential. Just to give you a bit of an example of how Hugh worked, to take that of how he worked on the ground, and his ability to engage and listen to people's stories, and his unique and compassionate style, and his encompassing and empowering way he worked. In 1975, I was working here for the YCW, and I lived in the YCW house at Fitzroy, which was the old chaplain's house at that time. And Hugh had come over for a visit from Adelaide, and I was telling him about the work I was doing. And part of that work at that time, I was engaging young people who lived there in the Fitzroy area. They weren't connected to the church. They lived in the housing commission areas, and hung around the pinball rooms of Brunswick Street, Fitzroy. Very different areas then than it is today. Anyway, Hugh came and saw us, and he asked me about my work, and I was telling him about this group of young people that I was working with. He said, let's go and visit. So off we took down to Brunswick Street, to a local pinball room, and I was just amazed how his ability to listen and to engage these young people. There was a guy talking to a young bloke by the name of Rocky, and Rocky was a pretty tough lad, been through the wars, had a tough life. Anyway, afterwards we were reflecting on Rocky, and I was just amazed in that time he was there, how he was able to capture the story of Rocky's life. Now, I'd known Rocky a long time, a number of months, or so a long time, 6 or more months I've been spending time with Rocky. And I was just amazed in that one evening, that one time, he was able to capture more about Rocky and his story than I had done in months. So for me, it was a great learning opportunity to see how he worked and his unique way of engaging people. On the same night in Fitzroy, he asked me about the Aboriginal people that lived in and around Fitzroy. And I told him, yes, there's a lot of different spots Aboriginal people live and gather, and one was the Champion Hotel. He said, let's go. And we went to the Champion Hotel, and it was an amazing experience watching him engage Aboriginal people. I must have thought, two white guys walking into the Champion Hotel, they noticed, people might, the Aboriginal men and women there might suspect our motives. But it was pretty clear pretty soon. Hugh exuded such compassion that people responded to him. Absolutely amazing. And we sat there for some time, and I learned more about, I just learned so much from him watching how he worked. I learned more about Hugh's compassion for Aboriginal people when I went to live in Adelaide. It was when the National YCW office moved there. And I knew that Hugh, and he didn't talk much about this, but he would go out at night and he would sit with the Aboriginal people in King William Square. Sit and listen to their stories, their struggle and their hopes. He had great compassion for Aboriginal people. And his preparedness and his ability to listen to those stories and support those people taught me a great deal. I still hold those learnings today from Hugh as I work alongside many Aboriginal people and communities today. So what can we take from that? Gives you try to give you some insight into the way he worked. So what can we take? What are the learnings that are applicable to Hugh, from Hugh's work and I say to the community welfare sector, what are some of those? First, we'd say our values and beliefs, interpersonal relation, the way we relate interpersonally, our leadership and our learning styles all impact on the ability and the effectiveness of engaging and working with people and enabling the C-Judge Act formation process, or action reflection process, is often talked about in the community service sector. Those values, our beliefs and values, impact certainly on the way we do that, and that process can't happen in a vacuum. That process of action reflection doesn't happen in a vacuum of our values and beliefs. And what I gained from Hugh was an understanding of these elements and learned the skills through watching him work, and his actions challenged me to think about my beliefs and values. And I've carried those through the 35 years I've worked in the community service sector. Those learnings, I would say, that I take from Hugh, and I'll talk about a few of those in a minute, are often missing in our community service sector today. And when I say our community service sector, I mean our youth outreach support services, our drug and alcohol services, our mental health services, our family support services. It's a growing, booming industry that's becoming increasingly corporatised. And there's many things I look at Hugh and the way he worked that could be applicable to the way that sector operates. And in part is the reason, this failure to capture some of those essence of the way you work with people is the reason our community welfare sector is failing to address social disadvantage. Despite the massive increases in funding to our support sectors, we are seeing increasing vulnerability of children, young people and families is ever increasing. In fact, I would say our community service sector maintains people in social disadvantage and social exclusion. So what are some of those values and leadership styles and beliefs? So let's talk about it. First of all, it's a profound belief that all people have strengths and capacities and are experts of their own situation and their community. You can't work in that sector and you can't do the C-Judge Act process unless you have ultimate belief in people's strengths and capacities. A belief that all people can change. Now, it might sound a simple thing to say, but it's an incredible belief to hold, that all people can change, and they can change and grow from their strengths and capacities, particularly when supported to appreciate those strengths. It's a fundamental value and belief. The belief in being non-judgmental about people, to be able to accept people for who they are. Again, you cannot enable a change process unless you come from a non-judgmental value base. The belief that every person can be a contributor, both an economic contributor and social contributor to their community. One of the great failings of our social service system is a lack of that belief that people can be economic and social contributors. The belief in self-determination, providing people every opportunity to select and reflect and direct their own process of change. Another fundamental value I learned from Hugh, a value in deep respect, demonstrating that we recognise the uniqueness of each person and their intrinsic value. Working in a way that is power with and not power over. That means maintaining a focus on people's own personal goals, working in a culturally sensitive and competent way, working alongside rather than directing. Our current community service system in very much is a power over way of working. And in one sense, what I saw in Hugh and learned from Hugh, it challenged that paradigm and the way it works. Value and promoting, bringing people together to act on issues which impact in their life, on them and their community. Again, another fundamental, that concept of talking to young people, seeing some of those common situations, bringing them together to talk about it. It doesn't happen in our sector, in our community service sector. And it's one of those lessons we can take from the work of people like you, O'Sullivan. A belief that personal growth as a person is enabled through participation in social action. Rather, which is contrary to a lot of the beliefs that hold around personal change in the community service sector, which are focused on cognitive behaviour therapies and psychotherapies. That social action enables personal growth and change. And a belief in transparency, belief in communication, open communication, explaining decision making, including the sharing of power and the naming of difficulties. Our sector cannot share power with the people it works with. You just need to look at all the structures of the major agencies in this state, and you can see that lack of inability to share power with their client base. Some of the skills that are critical. The ability to listen without judging, that are fundamental to our work. Reframing and validating people's experiences. The ability to build rapport. These are fundamental skills in working in a social change process. Being able to, the unique skill that Hugh had was being able to identify that an action that a young worker could take for personal change or social change, and recognising that young worker's capacity to achieve it. He seemed to be able to nail it every time. He didn't aim too low, he didn't aim too high. He was able to pinpoint, and that's a skill really required in this process. And he understood young people learned and those learning styles. Fostering and encouraging people's aspirations. He was a great one to foster the aspirations of those around him. And he had high expectations. A thing that happens in our sector today, we dumb down and have low expectations of people. Hugh had great expectations, very high expectations of what we could do. So they're just some of the reflections that underpin what I see that emerge around the values and beliefs that I learned from Hugh, that we see from Hugh, that underpin the formation process. And I would say it's a lesson in our modern day when we see what is happening in our social service sector, that some of those fundamental things around values, beliefs and skills, I could see that if we had them embedded in that sector, we'd have a different type of sector. In the YCW, we didn't implicitly talk about those. What we did was we learned it through doing, through experience and through observation. But we didn't actually talk a lot about explicitly naming those particular values to that extent, but we knew them through doing. So in conclusion, I could say it's very clear that what Huey taught me and taught many others by being the way he worked and who he was as a person. And from that, I'm forever grateful to Hugh O'Sullivan. Thank you.
Thank you very much. First hand's gone up. All right. Just introduce yourself again.
Would there be another principle you think too that he taught members of being with? Two stories about QSL and the Lord's influence me rapidly. When he was appointed to his first parish, and he was somewhere in North Adelaide, that's where Mark comes from, the parish priest said, sending down his first job, he said, I want you to understand the main road, the two intersect the main roads in the parish, and I want you to stay there for 3 hours and come back and tell me what you saw. And what the first priest he worked with was basically, look at the area you are. You don't bring the answers, look at what's happening. So, in every situation of being in school or parish, it's all been there as a teacher for 45 years, was get to know the kids in front of you. Because if you're going to teach them anything, you've got to know where they're coming from. The second story, the QSL story that George stayed with me, I think when he was appointed parish priest to Bill, he arrived in a car. Anyway, he did his walk around like he'd been trained to do, parish, and discovered 99% of parishioners rode bikes, they couldn't afford a car. So the car stayed in the garage the whole time he was there, and he got a push bike and go around. So he was being with people. He wasn't someone who's coming to tell them the answers, which led to the other things. This being with seems to be, and when I read his story, it seemed to be classic, always be with people first. Yep. And then, like in that verse, the convention going to champion, be with people, understand where they're coming from, so you can help them appropriately.
Yep.
Comment?
Hi, David Kennedy. So two things. The first is when I was involved in the YCW, Tom Gleeson was the chaplain, and he would talk to me about when you wrote Cutter Wooden Clogs, and Tom being really amazed at his ability to